Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. This week we are doing another Halloween themed video. We are making spooky brain cupcakes. Now this is probably a little bit more gorier than the last Halloween video, so it's perfect for any teenagers or anyone really that likes the gory Halloween spooky stuff. So to start with, we have our softened cream cheese and our softened butter. We're going to pop this into our mixing bowl, and then we're going to beat it on a medium speed until everything is lovely incorporated. Now it is really important to have your cream cheese and your butter the exact same temperature so that one doesn't cool another down, and especially when the cream cheese is cooler than the butter will harden and you'll have little like nuggets of butter, and it won't be lovely like smooth cream cheese icing, which is exactly what you want. So we're gonna pop this on. You can do this with a handheld mixer as well. You don't have to use a KitchenAid, but obviously my preference is a KitchenAid. So we'll pop this on and beat it for roughly 3 to 5 minutes. All right, so now that has come together all lovely and smooth, we're going to add our icing sugar. So I have my icing sugar here that I'm just going to pop all in without making a mess. And then we're gonna slowly, very, very slowly, turn our KitchenAid on and out. You don't want to turn it on really, really fast because you're just gonna get a mountain cloud of icing sugar. So we want to avoid that. So we're gonna go really, really slowly, and then we're gonna pick up the pace. Now, while that is combining, we are gonna get our food coloring and our vanilla paste ready. So that pretty much looks near enough ready to go. We're going to add just a teaspoon of vanilla paste. Now I'm using this really yummy Halila pure vanilla paste. The table is really shaking. All right, before my KitchenAid takes off and my table flies away and breaks down, I'm going to stop it there. So my cream cheese icing is lovely and mixed through. It's gone in lovely, fluffy consistency, which is exactly what we want. So ideally with our food coloring, we want to use a red food paste. I recommend a gel. I've actually got this one from the supermarket. It's just a cheap one from the brand Queen. What I'm gonna do is I'm just going to make sure that my lovely cream cheese icing is thoroughly mixed all together. As you can see, it's lovely and sort of white and fluffy, which is exactly what you want. So I'm just gonna add, I'm gonna say 2 medium-sized pea drops, and I'm just gonna slowly like mix this through, but not too much. I want it to be like this, where you've got streaks of the red, and then you've also got the white in there as well, so it kind of looks like blood. I'm pretty happy with that. As you can see, it's still pretty veiny, which is exactly what you want. And then we're gonna fill up our piping bag. So you pop it in, and you literally pull up against that hand so you can use it to wipe off the rest of your icing from your spatula. Now that my piping bag is fully full of all of my lovely cream cheese icing, we are gonna start the decorations of our lovely brain cupcakes. And then I've also got this little mold here. So I actually bought this off of Amazon. The brand is Sofrito. I may be pronouncing that wrong. But basically it's a silicone little half circle mold here. I think it's actually used for chocolate, but I'm gonna use it for icing today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm essentially gonna create brains using these little molds. So I'm basically gonna do 2 halves. A brain has a left side and a right side. I'm gonna do a straight line down the center, and then I'm gonna fill that side in with squiggles, and then do the exact same on the other side. So straight down the center, and then lots of little squiggles. like so. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. And then once I've created my generic pattern, I'm basically gonna just do a lot more squiggles on top, just so that it fully fills the cup up with enough icing, so that you've got enough icing on your cupcake. So now that my brains are all lovely and filled, I'm just gonna gently tap the icing into the molds. And then I've just got if you've got a cranked palette knife, that would be amazing. But I'm just gonna smooth off the tops of these little brains, just so that when it goes onto the cupcake, it fits perfectly. So now that our brains are all created, we're gonna pop these into the fridge for roughly around an hour. So this is why I have sort of started with this step first, so that all the brains are ready to go before it's time to ice the cupcake. So we'll pop these in the fridge for an hour, and then we'll get onto our cupcake recipe. All right guys, so we are ready now to do our beautiful Halloween red velvet cupcakes. So as I said before, we have made our brains. They are now chilling in the fridge. Now it's time to make our lovely red velvet cupcake recipe. So first of all, we want to preheat the oven to 175 degrees Celsius in a fan forced oven. Then we are going to sift our ingredients together. So we've got our cocoa into our flour. So we'll sift that in, just so that we get rid of all of these little like cocoa bumps. Then to our flour and cocoa mixture, we're going to add our salt and our caster sugar. Now to that, we're going to just give it a good old whisk. So our wet ingredients are done in 2 separate parts. So we're gonna add in our butter to a separate bowl, and our water to a separate bowl. And then you're gonna mix that together like so. Then you're gonna add your buttermilk. So add that all in. You're also gonna add in your vanilla and your red food coloring paste. So for this, I have left my measurement somewhere. I'm going to guess, but we want roughly a teaspoon of red food coloring gel, which is gonna be quite hard to see. And a little bit of vanilla. Again, I'm using the Halila vanilla. That'll be enough. And then we'll mix that all together. Perfect. All right, so now that that is fully mixed together, I'm going to add my lovely red buttermilk mixture to my dry ingredients. Make sure we get all of that in there. And then we're gonna give this a good old mix up until everything is thoroughly incorporated. And then it is time to add our baking soda and our vinegar, which is essentially what makes a red velvet cake different from a red vanilla sponge cake. Perfect. Okay, so now it is time to add the vinegar and the baking soda. So this is essentially where the science kind of happens. We're basically creating a chemical reaction, and then it does its thing in the cake and makes it sort of like a little bit sour. And I think also a little bit fluffier in terms of the actual cake structure. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to add our vinegar straight into our baking soda, and then we're gonna pour it straight in and mix it. So, and as you can see, it's fizzing away nicely. So we'll pour that straight in, and then we mix that through. And as you can see, it's a really, really lovely deep red color. So the actual velvet, the red velvet sponge will be lovely and red. All right, perfect. So I have my cupcake cases. Now I've just got some plain black ones that I've actually got from my local cake store that I'm just gonna pop into my cupcake tray. And to make things a little bit easier, I've got a medium-sized ice cream scooper that I'm just gonna literally scoop my cupcake mixture into and then plop it in. So I'm gonna go 1.5 scoops of cupcake mixture into each cupcake case. Now I'm very aware that not everyone will have this size. So if you aim for half full, you should be fine. Alrighty, so that is all my mixture used up. We are going to pop these in the oven for roughly 18 minutes until the cupcakes come back nice and springy to the touch. Alright, so now that our lovely red velvet cupcakes are out of the oven and they are cooling down, we're gonna make a little like blood-like custard filling that's almost gonna be like, I want to say sludgy, probably not using the best term. Anyway, let's just get into it before I say the wrong thing. But let me tell you what I'm going to use to make our sort of like slime blood-like filling is custard. We're going to colour with red food colouring gel some custard to make our lovely little inserts. So I've just got some pre-made custard here that is lovely and slime-like, which will be perfect for what we're trying to achieve. So I've just got some food gel and some custard, so we'll pop that in. We want this to be lovely and red, so we'll pop that in and give it a good old stir. Get myself a spoon. And this will be perfect for the insides of the cupcake. So as you can see, it's got a lovely red, vibrant blood-like, and it's all jelly, so it will be perfect for the insides of these cupcakes. So we have our piping bag filled of our delicious custard filling. Then we're going to bring back our beautifully chilled cupcakes. Now, you don't have to use one of these. These are a apple corer. You don't have to use one of these at all. It just makes the process a lot easier. Otherwise, if you don't want to use these, you can also use a piping nozzle as well. That works quite well. But we're just going to take out the little inserts of our cupcake and just pop them in a little bowl beside. All right, so we've got our custard. We're just going to cut the end of the piping bag off, discard that, and just fill up our cupcakes. And these are going to be lovely and bright. I mean, you can probably see already. The custard is beautifully red. All right, perfect. Now that they are all filled and they are looking lovely and beautiful, it is time to ice our beautiful cupcakes and make them even more Halloween-y. Now, one thing I did think about is, obviously we have got our lovely little icing brains here, but I want to show you another way that you can also achieve the same effect without having to buy the same mold, purely just for cost reasons. Now I've just still got our lovely veiny red cream cheese here with the same piping nozzle, and I'm just going to show you how easy it is to sort of create that sort of like messy Halloween look. So all I'm doing is just piping an absolute mess all over the cake, and I'm just kind of like keeping in swirly motions, but kind of just making it super messy and slowly tapering off towards the top. And there you have it. Super, super easy, super, super fun. It's just another way of decorating these guys without it looking so brain-like, which I think is quite good to have as well. And I'm just gonna pick them up and pop them on here. Now, obviously, because it is cream cheese, it is a lot softer than your Swiss meringue buttercream or even your American buttercream. So do be really careful with these, and you also want to bring them out from the fridge at the last possible minute. Mine have been sitting on the side for a little bit, so they are a little bit softer. Perfect. And there we have it, guys. We have our lovely brain spooky Halloween cupcakes, perfect in time for Halloween. Now, obviously, if you want to be a little bit extra, you can pull back some of that custard and, you know, make it look like it's a little bit of blood, where it's you just drip a little bit on the top or around the sides. I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed this video, and I hope you try it at home. It is a really, really fun video to do with kids. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, and now it is time for me to taste. Which one am I gonna do? I'm gonna do this one, I think. Yeah. Yum, 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 yum. Ready? That is the best red velvet cake I've ever tried, and that is really saying something. It's so soft, it's so squidgy, it's so moist, it's so flavoursome, and even though it looks a bit gruesome and gory, you've still got the flavours in there that honestly taste delicious. You've got that custard, gooey, bloody feeling oozing out of there. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you make them at home, and we shall see you in our next video. Bye, guys.